It happens.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm half asleep right now, so it's fine.
It's fine. Welcome to Drowsy Cast.
Yeah.
Um,
Alright, have you been waiting for that morning cast that everyone sounds like they're asleep in? Well, look no further than today's podcast.
Ironically enough, I feel like this podcast would be a very good one for people to fall asleep to.
Yes, I think so. I feel this is my max octave right now in this current state.
I was gonna say, like, I could try for like a little bit more, but I'm also just like, I kind of like it all mellow and whatnot. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of
mellow,
enjoying this vibe. Speaking
and
of
also,
vibe,
I sound very deep.
right?
This is what I sound like in the morning.
One of the days last week, I just like was like, you know what? I deserve something. I need something right now. What do I want? And then I'm like also thinking about it, I'm like, well, I don't really want to spend money. So the next best thing, I was like looking in my wallet. I'm like, okay, what do I have a gift card for? And I had a gift card for Dairy Queen, and I'm like,
Of course, I knew it was Dairy Queen.
right, because I think that's been in my wallet since Christmas of 2018.
Oh my god, I have gift cards for so many different things in places I don't even know about.
Right, right. So I'm like, okay, this doesn't actually spend any money that I have currently. Let's go. And like, I got a twist cone, and I'm like, okay, cool. And like, I'm just like,
You didn't even get a Blizzard?
no,
I'm sorry. Sorry to perk up all of a sudden, but that's a little disappointing when you go to Dairy Queen and have a Blizzard.
dude.
Sorry, I'm judging you a lot right now.
I realized that my stomach can't really handle it,
Oh,
if I'm being perfectly honest, and like, it's extremely upsetting, let me tell you. But I don't know, I just like wanted something simple, and I knew that wouldn't really like completely destroy my innards. So like, I got that, and like, I'm just like sitting there, I'm just like, this isn't like real ice cream. Like, as I was having it, I'm just like, I want better.
oh my god.
Well, because I'm just like, okay, it's like more real than like the ice cream that you get from McDonald's, air quote on ice cream, because it's
You should have gotten like they have a peanut butter perforation. You got that. They put like hot fudge on the outside with like bits of peanuts everywhere.
Did I ever tell you my banana split story?
It sounds familiar, but might as
So
well tell it again.
so like, and like, preface, this isn't like a like look at a weird part of my past part of this podcast, but like, it's just like a random story where like, I don't want to say like I'm scared or like nervous to ever order like a quote unquote like Sunday like ice cream plus stuff, but like, so I think I was like 6 or somewhere in that range, and we went to this ice cream shop, and I ordered a banana split. I've never had a banana split before, and I'm like, I just want to try it. And I don't know if like this is like common amongst banana splits or whatever, but like, this one was massive, where it had like a large banana cut in half on either sides of the dish. There were 3 scoops of ice cream, and then there was like 4 like little shot things of like flavoring, because there's like pineapple, like mango, and then like something else.
Right.
And like, I got it, like, it was okay from what I remember, but like, I only ate through like half of it, and then like, it led to like my dad like yelling at me because I ordered something that I only had half of. So like, after getting screamed at for quite some time, it's kind of like traumatized me of like, yeah, no, I don't really feel like ordering um a Sunday-esque thing, but
Oh.
um I don't know, like I guess it's also just like I'm not really a huge fan of like doing stuff to ice cream, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I liked blizzards because like you could just like mix in your favorite candy or flavor or whatever. Like cool, that's fine. That's cool. Um but like I don't know, I'm just like I don't know if I sound too vanilla, but I lo- I want to let you know I did finger guns during that too. I know you couldn't see it.
I could hear the finger guns. It was either air quotes or finger guns. I wasn't sure which one.
Yeah, yeah, no, I was going all in on that dad joke. Um, but I don't know. I'm just like a fan of just ice cream as is. Like if I get like a vanilla or like a twist or something, like when they're just like, "Oh, do you want sprinkles? Do you want it dipped?" And I'm like, "No." Occasionally I get into the like bouginess of like, let's pour myself a glass of wine and have cheese and crackers. Oh,
yes.
um,
Please have some wine and crackers. Oh.
put some hummus on the plate too, and oh, waiter.
What kind of dips do you have today? Is there any specials?
But like definitely I get in the random mood of that, and I'm just like, okay, let's do this. With or without the accent, who knows? It sometimes comes out.
Tullys chicken fingers do the best job because they bring you both flavors. Just like, you want ranch? You want this? You want honey mustard? There you go. We got both.
For as much as I like don't really care for Tullys, sorry, that's another sponsorship that'll just go out the window with me saying that. Like
Bring it back. Bring it back.
like I if I were to go to Tullys, the only thing that I would like, it's one of the few places where I can have no order panic whatsoever because I only order chicken fingers.
Yep.
I don't think
I've been there. I've been there twice, and I've only ordered chicken fingers from there.
Well, like their chicken fingers are phenomenal. Like they're so good, but like I don't bother to look at the rest of the menu.
I know, just stare like here.
Right. Like I don't know, like I think for me like Applebee's kind of falls into that range too of just like I like there's very few things on this menu that I'll actually look at and like ponder because the other stuff just sounds so like not okay. I don't know, like I growing up like our like quote unquote always like sit down dinners whenever we would go out were usually either Applebee's or Olive Garden. So like growing up we would always go there and like I loved it, but then like as an adult I would always just kind of like steer away from those places. Like
Yeah, I think we went there a lot when I was younger too.
yeah,
Like that was the go-to place because my parents couldn't take me to any other fancy restaurants because like we weren't old enough yet, and we didn't, I guess act the most mature. Not just speaking for myself either.
right, right, and like I don't know, like it just kind of fell out of favor in my mind, like because at this point like the last couple times I've been to Applebee's, and that was like a year ago, was when like me and my sister would randomly be like, you want to just go to a bar and get a drink?
Yeah.
And we're like, okay. And like we knew the bartender at Applebee's, so we were like, okay, why don't we just go there and like hang out with her?
Mm-hmm.
Like the last time I legitimately ate at Applebee's has been like over a year ago, at least, and like I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
And like same thing with Olive Garden. Like I don't actually remember the last time I was there. Like
Wait, didn't we shit on Olive Garden before on this podcast?
yes, I've made a comment or two.
Oh, I think I called it like the most American or something like that.
Oh yeah, like the most American Italian place or something. And
Yes, I think that was it.
sorry, not sorry, Olive Garden. I'll still take your breadsticks, but that's about it.
Called it the Disney of like restaurants or whatever.
Oh my god, I do remember that.
But anyways, the first I had Outback Steakhouse for the first time yesterday.
Really?
Or the other day. The other day it was so we're recording this on Sunday, May 17th. I had it on the 15th.
Okay.
And it was good. Like I like a lot of flavor.
Uh-huh.
Just there's that like balance of like, oh, I can't taste any flavor versus wow, this is overpowering, it's too much. Like they had like that was really good balanced flavor because I had like it was like a chicken pasta, chicken and shrimp with like I want to say like some kind of cream pasta.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good. Like it was a good mix of like flavors.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like, I guess, like, two things. One specifically about Outback Steakhouse. So, I distinctly remember this, too.
Oh no, is this a bad experience?
No, it's not. It's not. Don't worry. Don't worry. So, like,
I'm worried.
like, I'm sure I've definitely mentioned on this before. Like 10 years ago at this point, like, I went to Australia for the summer. So, like, before we left, my mom was just like, I'm gonna take you to Outback Steakhouse and like see if they have like any authentic Australian stuff. And I'm like, okay, let's see that. And like like I ordered stuff and I'm like, whoa, I feel like Australia's gonna be so much similar to American food. And then like I get to Australia and like granted, yes, like modern Western culture, as you may say, like has a lot of similarities, whatever. But like
Right.
there were so many things like just like even like how they cook things down there, I'm just like Outback Steakhouse lied to me. This isn't Australian at all. So,
Young Justin, how could you lie to me? I thought you were Australian.
like then it was hilarious because I think like that was because I called back home a couple of times like during the trip and like I called my mom and she's like, how's it going? And just like Outback Steakhouse lied to me. Like that's how I started the first conversation. And she's like, what do you mean? And I'm like,
did I just give you a child voice for an 18-year-old Justin?
no, I was like 14, so like you were a little more spot on. I don't know when my voice hit mild puberty, but oh my god, I'm so glad I never did this. But like just like down in like Sydney or something, just like, oh, what can I get you? And just like, can I get a shrimp on the Barbie?
We don't have Barbies here. We're not a doll factory.
I was gonna say,
What is a Barbie?
knowing how sarcastic Australians are as a whole, that's exactly probably what would happen. And then they would call you a cunt because, you know, that's an endearing term down there. I remember I got called that down there, and I'm like, oh, and they're like, it's like synonymous with like friend, and I'm like, oh,
Well,
interesting.
not where I'm from.
I'm like, most other places probably won't agree with that, but
Specific restaurant dishes, most restaurants will mix different flavors purposely to get a specific, I don't know, I guess you can call it like a vibe out of it, because it's the way that all the different flavors mix together that makes it good.
Right.
And that's what has developed me, because I used to be the pickiest eater. Like, if something was made, like, I used to hate onions, I used to hate tomatoes. Like, if there was any tomatoes in it, onions in it, any shit I didn't like, I'm gonna avoid it. Like, I don't want to try and eat that. But as I grew older, and I think this was when I went to Italy, like, a lot of the meals had everything mixed together, and I just kind of ate it all at once, and it was more of mixing things.
Yeah.
And that's why I really enjoyed about, like, okay, now I can get a different flavor and different perspective from just mixing different types of flavors together. And I hate this stupid example, but I go back to Ratatouille.
Oh my god, I was gonna do that.
He what was it? I think he like took a piece of cheese. He was like, oh, it's like his fat rat friend, and I'm telling you,
it's his
I'm not
brother.
I'm not trying to be mean. Okay, I mean they're friends anyways, so it's fine.
Sure. I forget the brother's Emil?
I mean, is it really his
Emil.
brother though?
It's Emil.
So, all right.
Sorry.
All right, Disney guy.
Hey.
It's DreamWorks. I get it.
No,
But
it was It's Pixar.
was it Pixar?
Yeah, it's Disney Pixar.
It felt okay. It might have been Pixar, but it definitely felt like a DreamWorks movie.
Huh?
But am I the only one who thinks that? Anyways, when Remy gave brother, I forgot his name. So he gave him. I think he gave him like a slice of cheese, and you're like, okay, close your eyes and eat that one slice of cheese. And then he gave him, what was it? Like I think it was like a mushroom or something. And like, okay, close your eyes and eat this. Like, that's a different type of flavor. And now you eat them together, and then he's like, oh, all these things, and all these emotions come out, and you're feeling everything, and fireworks are going off, and he like went through this whole little thing.
It's like an acid trip.
Yeah, it was basically an acid trip for rats. Like, but it really is. You really experience food differently. Like, if I were to eat like an onion plain, you know how disgusting that would be?
You would be shredded.
You ever tried to just eat? Haven't tried just eating an onion plain? Fucking disgusting, mate. Don't give me an onion. I didn't want it. But even eating like an onion or just like biting a raw onion, that's completely disgusting. Like, you cook it, you mix it with things. You mix it with like peppers and tomatoes, and you put spices in it to make it more flavorful.
Right.
And that's what I guess in a way inspired me to try and spicy mustard again, because that's a whole different type of flavor of eating that, like a sandwich I'm used to eating, but taking a different perspective on it.
Right. I think it's really interesting to like look back on like foods that you like really loved growing up versus like foods that you hated growing up, like you would stay away from, because like I was in the same boat as you up until like 2-3 years ago with onions. Of just like they are the most disgusting thing on the face of the earth. They should go nowhere near my mouth. They're my food. Like, go away. And then it is like, it's very interesting to kind of take into account like there's a reason why people go to school for culinary. Is like, it's more than just cooking. It's
right.
more than just like food prep. It's combining and like kind of like mixology of like varying flavors, textures, features, etc., and like making it into a mouth-watering dish. That's why people go to restaurants in the first place. Is like,
and that's why there's recipes, because some people combine different things together and they said, wow, this works really well.
Right.
But in the opposite spectrum, if you combine things and they don't go well together, it's gonna taste like shit. Like, you have to know exactly. I think careful experimentation is the correct term here, because you can figure out new recipes and new things, but in order to do that, you might hit some walls of like, oh, this tastes like dog shit. I'm not doing this ever again. And like having the knowledge of, okay, sometimes this thing doesn't mix well with this, so we're gonna take that out and we're gonna try this.
Right. And like, it's very funny because like growing up, I've always been in the presence of an Italian kitchen, a cliche Italian kitchen, where we have cookbooks and recipe books for baking and cooking. We just do whatever the fuck we want.
Yep.
So, like,
I think my dad used one cookbook before, and it was only to make dough.
right.
And then once he learned, he was like, I don't need this anymore.
Right, like I have cookbooks like sitting on the counter right now that I only look at it for baking purposes, for drink purposes. I don't know. But like I've told you this before. I don't know if I told the podcast before. Just like one of my biggest revelations growing up was when my grandma like pulled me aside and she's like, I'm going to tell you the secret to the meatballs and sauce of our family. And I'm like, oh, the knowledge is going to be given to me. And she like leans in real close. It's like all dramatic, like silence around me. I'm so focused on what she's about to say. And she's like, there is no recipe. And I'm like,
there is no secret ingredient?
I'm like, what and she's like, yeah, no, like, we have these ingredients. We just kind of, like, throw them in depending on how much you want, like, a certain flavor or whatever. It's just like, my life is a lie.
When you go to these specific places, you have to have some sort of open mind as to you're not going to be eating the same food that you know back home, like something you're familiar with, no matter where you live. Like, even if you live in another country other than the United States, you're coming to the United States to visit, you're going to experience different food. You're going to experience American style. You're going to experience, French style food or German or Italian. Like, they're all different. Like, and so having that open mind as to what flavors you will taste or you will experience, or the feeling of those different flavors, it's going to be all different.
Right.
So I just would probably say just be prepared for that.
Right. And I think, like, that's the biggest thing, too, is, like, in terms of, like, food and stuff, like, if you go, say you go to, like, Japan, it's really weird if you go there and the only thing you get is McDonald's. Like, no bueno. That's not how we do it. Like,
when you're traveling there for the visuals, you're traveling there for the culture, and part of that culture is food.
Yeah.
So you're traveling for all three.
Food culture.